We are back with a closer look at President Trump's first 100 days. All week long, we're analyzing where things stand with his key campaign promises. And today, we kick it off with his signature pledge, building that wall on the Mexican border, forcing Mexico to pay for it. Our senior White House correspondent, Cecilia Vega, here with the details. Good morning, Cecilia.
Hey, George, good morning to you. Immigration reform was Donald Trump's signature promise, and at the center of it, that wall. On day one, he said he would build a big, beautiful wall, and Mexico would pay for it. It was the opening salvo to Donald Trump's presidential campaign.
They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people.
Ever since then, illegal immigration has been his rallying cry and signature promise.
I will build a great, great wall on our southern border, and I will have Mexico pay for that wall. Mark my words.
Within days of taking office, the president went to work, signing 2 executive orders, stripping federal funding from sanctuary cities, calling for triple the number of ICE officers, adding thousands of Border Patrol agents, and ordering that construction begin on the nearly 2,000-mile-long wall.
We're in the middle of a crisis on our southern border. Beginning today, the United States of America gets back control of its borders, gets back its borders.
The president's supporters applauded the crackdown.
I think border security is good for Arizona. There's going to be a physical barrier. There's going to be manpower down on the border.
But others living in fear, like this undocumented mother in Los Angeles, worried her family would be torn apart.
They have to stay here. They have to live here, and they don't have to be worried for us.
And now, nearly 100 days in, construction on the wall expected to start this summer at the earliest. Bids have already been submitted. The price tag, estimates put it at $20 billion and counting. The president still pledging to make good on his promise.
We're building the wall. In fact, it's going to start soon. Way ahead of schedule. Way ahead of schedule.
As for undocumented immigrants, compared to the same time last year under President Obama, immigration-related arrests are up nearly 33%, and illegal border crossings are down since the president took office, more than 60% compared to the same month last year. The Trump administration calling it a sign their hard line on immigration is working.
These numbers are lower because DHS and DOJ have shown that we're serious about border security.
Okay, so what about Mexico paying for that wall? Mexico's leaders say they are absolutely not paying for it. The president says they will, but he has changed his tune slightly, tweeting this weekend, eventually, but at a later date, Mexico will be paying in some form for the badly needed border wall. So not immediately.
He's saying that. The Secretary of State told me that he hasn't even talked to the Mexican foreign minister about that. Stand by. We're going to talk more about this now with Tom Llamas, who, of course, covered the Trump campaign from the start. Also, Joe Kelly, the morning host at 96.5 WDBO in Orlando, Florida. Of course, that was one of Trump's big wins. And, Joe, let me begin with you. You talk to Trump voters every single day. And I want to start out with that number from our poll. 96% say they're standing by President Trump right now. They would vote for him again. What's the secret to his staying power with those voters?
Yeah, there's no sense that the Trump supporters are backing off in their support for Donald Trump. I mean, they were there for him throughout the course of the campaign, particularly here in Orlando. The I-4 corridor is very important to his success and his successful election. And George, they're staying behind him. And even when it seems as if Donald Trump has taken a step backwards, when he had his failure, if you will, on getting health care reform passed, the repeal and replace, so many of the Trump supporters adamantly believe that that is part of the negotiation for President Trump, that he loses on purpose so that he can win at a later date, that President Trump is 15 steps ahead of everybody else.
He's losing on purpose. That's novel. Okay, but how about if he can't get Mexico to pay for this wall?
I think that the bottom line is, and as we talk to people here in Central Florida, and we're a really diverse community here, I mean, there's not a day that goes by in which I don't hear a foreign language, and not just Spanish. I mean, I hear a lot of foreign languages day to day here in Orlando. The people who have come to this country legally definitely want a wall put up. They definitely want strong border security because they've paid a great price coming here to this country legally and they have just as big a problem with people who take shortcuts and come here illegally as President Trump says that he has.
Okay, Joe, thanks. Let me bring in Tom Yamas right now. You were at just about every Trump campaign rally. This was the go-to line. If the crowd got a little too calm, he pulled out paying for the wall.
Yeah, and George, it was a brilliant idea. Immediately it became a flashpoint. Some of his Republican rivals adopted it, others mocked it. But it's also a political gamble because you have to build the wall. There's no wiggle room there. You know, a month after he announced his candidacy, he mentions the wall, as Cecilia reported, and then he goes down to the border. And he actually spent more time with reporters doing 2 news conferences than actually examining the border. But he was 100% right, tapping into what Republicans were frustrated with illegal immigration. But the clock is ticking, George, and he has to point to something or be able to stand in front of something and say, I got this wall built.
Which is why, Cecilia, he's insisting on having some wall funding in this government funding bill that keeps the government open after the end of this week. But the Democrats aren't going there. He's probably going to have to back off.
I mean, we're looking at some kind of a collision course, but the question is right now, will the president sign a bill that doesn't have funding for the wall in it yet? We don't really know. We'll have to wait and see.
We will see. Thanks, guys.